Okay, One Piece TCG fans, I wanted to make another video, kind of a follow-up video to the last video regarding Romance Dawn crashing, because it's been only a few more days and it actually crashed a little further. So I kind of want to talk about it. So let's kind of take a look at the chart here in the TCG player. Currently the price is at $254.99. So I kind of wanted to bring up what it was a few days ago, 4 days ago. I made a video that Romance Dawn had just hit under $400 for the first time in like 6 months. So, and you know, some of the reasons which I speculated why. I forgot to mention that I had watched a bunch of YouTube videos from some content creators who I respect and follow. They kind of called it a little bit. They did have some, you know, they called it a pump and dump. So I kind of want to explain that and kind of explain it more in the TCG sense versus the stock sense, because initially when I heard pump and dump, I kept thinking about like it in the stock market sense, and it's slightly different. So kind of want to talk about that. But yeah, so you can see 4 days ago, you know, the price was at $340, and today currently it's now at $254. So let me go over here real quick. From $499 at $399, so let's just make it a $340. That's a 31% drop. So that's why I keep calling it a crash, because in the stock market field, anything that's 20% or more is going to be considered a crash. Anything that's about 10%, around that range, it's a correction, and then above that is, you know, crash 20%. So I don't know what 10 to 20 is. Maybe that's a correction. So this one, right, from 340, which we saw 4 days ago, till today, you see right now that I'm holding it up, it is at 254, and that's a 25% increase or decrease. So that's definitely a crash, you know, in considering stock market terms, and that's also with shipping included. The one thing that I will say, and I'll talk about at the end there, is, you know, is the public absorbing these prices? So if they are absorbing the prices, you know, yeah, as it goes down, that's actually a good thing, because if they weren't absorbing the prices and it just, you know, in the stock market we'd say it's falling like a knife, right? So that means it's just shooting past price points because nobody wants them at certain price points. So that's why stocks fall so fast, from, let's say, like 60. If you see a stock going from like 60 to 40, it's because nobody wants, they see it and they're like, I definitely don't want it at 55, and I definitely don't want it at 50. So they're not even sniffing 50 or 55. So we're going to take a look at Romance Dawn if that's happening, from 340 to 260, or yeah, 260. We're going to see if 254, you know, if people were absorbing the prices or if they just went straight down, because it looks like it, you know, to me it looks like it's going to be just a race to the bottom, and sellers are trying to get rid of their stock, you know, as fast as possible. Because as I mentioned in the other video, I call, you know, I'm not saying that I called it or anything like that, but I felt like, just because it's similar to stock market, it looks like that the LGS, you know, the LCS knew something, and they're trying to get their stock out, which I have no problem with, right? They, you know, if you think about it from a card store, if One Piece, they get 5 cases and they put it out initially and, you know, start selling slowly, but then they see it skyrocket, so they're like, you know what, let me hold 1 case back, so 12 boxes, right? So they hold it back, price goes up to $400, and they're still holding it back because they never know if it's going to continue to grow, right? They only have 1 case left, and they're seeing that the game is still getting more and more popular, so they're just going to continue to hold on to it until they figure if Bandai's going to do a reprint, then they know what to do with it. See, they're experienced, right? So if they're going to hold on to it, and they know exactly what to do and when to do it. So they know about potential reprints. They know about you know, restocks, all that certain stuff. So like I was mentioning in the last video, I felt like they knew something, and then I even said that the price probably is going to go down a lot further, and I said, was it a good time to buy? Maybe hold off. So, you know, I kind of have that similar sentiment as well. I don't know how low this box will go, but there's a couple other factors as well. So let's kind of take a look at it. All right, so let's first take a look at, you know, I want to give credit because, like I said, I like to watch a bunch of videos from content creators, even if they have different opinions than I do. One thing that I always want to have you guys remember is perspective. You want to have perspective to gain it. You don't want to be in an echo chamber. You don't want to watch One Piece financial videos where everyone's just saying everything's going up. Just like, you know, for most of the, I like all the the Pokemon YouTubers and stuff, but for the majority of them, the set comes out, it's going to be, hey, it's going to go up, right? So, but I like the entertainment and the good ones, like Nostalgianomics. He's really good at it. He actually picks and chooses which ones, and he tells you the reasons why. He's backing it up with facts and data. So anyways, let's kind of look at this content creator. This is GemPulls. He does mostly, I think, Pokemon content, but he talked about his store, and this is why I like his stuff, because he talks about the store and from the store's perspective, and he kind of gives it real numbers. So this is 1 month ago. He said, let me go back, because actually Pokemon, this is one that I want to start with first, because he had a video 4 months ago, and it's very similar to what I was talking about the last time regarding Forge and Fire. So let's take a listen real quick.
Mentioned kind of a quick little story about a store that apparently found a bunch of One Piece cases as soon as the announcement for reprints was made. No, I'm absolutely not going to share the store or even the source of this information because, quite frankly, it's not relevant. Because the lesson reigns true no matter what. Where you need to be very aware of the current state of the market in both One Piece and any other TCG. So, for some context,
So he called this similar sentiment 4 months ago, and what he was mentioning, and he didn't want to mention the store at the time, but it was based off of Reddit post. I'll mention the store now because this, like I said, this was 4 months ago. Reddit was all over it. It didn't really matter because I think the company, the LGS itself, I buy from them all the time. I like them. It's Forge and Fire. I buy from them all the time. I have no negative things to say about them. I think they actually offer good prices. And I'm going to go over another thing later. They're, to me, I watch them as news. Okay, so I do take LGS stock as news, and I'll give you my reasons why later on in the video. But so in this video, he was talking about how all of a sudden 4 months ago, so this is back in February, right? So like I was mentioning, Romance Dawn you couldn't find it in stores in January or February. But then all of a sudden, one store, which happened to be Forge and Fire, got a bunch of boxes and they put it on their website. They were the only online store to do that at the time, right? So that should have been a warning. He mentioned it, warning the buyers that One Piece could be in this volatile market where, hey, there was rumors and reprints in January, but no stores really had any stock that they put out. But then all of a sudden, Forge and Fire put it out. I should look up what that price point was. Maybe we'll do that in a moment. But I do know that they did sell out of that stock. Whatever quantity they had, they did sell out because it wasn't there until they put it back up. Like I said in the last video, about a month ago, where they put it up again for $4.39, and then when I saw that, that's where I got a little suspicious that, hey, maybe these restocks are coming or a reprint, one of the two. Okay, so definitely check him out. He's very good. He provides very good content. Love his stuff. As an aspiring TCG shop, he actually offers some of the best content there is as well. So definitely give him the support. All right, the next one, as I started earlier, is GemPulls. So he was talking about this about a month ago, and in this video, he was just mentioning about that One Piece is getting pumped up. One caveat that I will mention about it is in the video he's talking about One Piece as a whole, but he does have a follow-up video, and where he's mostly talking about Romance Dawn. Most of the other sets did not crash per the percentages. They may have dipped a little bit, but we'll double check that. But as far as like a crash, they did not crash. But I do want to say that for his call on, if he One Piece for Romance Dawn, 100%, he was correct. So definitely want to take a look at his stuff, because like I said, you don't want to be in an echo chamber when you're collecting cards. You want to take different perspectives, especially from people who's been in the business. Now, the one thing that I will kind of do a little caveat with the pump and dump phrase versus stock market, because when I first watched this, I'm thinking, right, so usually in a pump and dump, there's an actor or entity, or bad actors who's telling the public to go buy this, pumping it up for whatever reason, and then once it gets pumped up, they're secretly selling it at the same time, right? So that's in the stock market essentially what they're doing, or they're going to wait for the market to reach what they think is a high, and they're going to start to dump it at that point, right? So it's either slow dumping, or they're going to wait and then dump it, and then they won't talk about the news anymore. TCG is a little different, so it's still, I'm going to call it a pump and dump in the TCG arena, because he did. But what he's talking about is the LGS stores, they know something, like I was mentioning. And it's similar to the stock market, which I'll get into. And what he's kind of alluding to is that these stores, not necessarily YouTubers, because that's what I first heard of, like, were there YouTubers pumping it up? No, he's necessarily saying that the stores and the price action was getting a little bit out of whack, right? So based on his experience with supply of TCGs and how prices should work, the prices were a little bit out of whack for One Piece. And I think, like I said, he was mostly talking about Romance Dawn. And he sensed it. He said, hey, it seems like it's a little bit inflated, and you just need to be able to watch out. So definitely take a look at his video, GemPulls. I'll put the links for those two videos down below. And then in this third video, like I said, he kind of talks about it again. However, I kind of want to say this. In this video, he's talking about the market cycles, which I really liked. And he also talked about how an average TCG is about 4 years. If it could last 4 years, then, his perspective on if One Piece is a pump and dump will change. As a whole, right? So he's kind of switching the terms between, like, the market cycle and then as a whole for the whole One Piece. But for as far as the market cycle, for sure, he is correct on this particular market cycle for Romance Dawn. And I'll agree. And like I was mentioning, take a listen to part 2 as well. He does a good job of explaining it again a little bit, and then kind of tooting his own horn as well. But he deserves it. GemPulls, I'll put the links below. Like I said, if you disagree with what he says, just no hate or anything like that. Just give your reasons why, and always be give yourself a defense of why you're having a counterpoint. For me, like I appreciated his opinion, and I kind of agreed with Romance Dawn, getting kind of pumped up as far as the price goes. So, I mean, like I was mentioning, Forge and Fire, they're allowed to. They put out their product at $4.39, then they had a sale to $4.09. So I bought it at $4.09. So here it is. So I bought it at $4.09. I got 2 of them, I think. So I got $800 I spent, and then not more than 2 weeks later, it crashed, right? So it went down to $360. However, it wasn't too far from what I got. And then, like I was mentioning, today it's at $254, $265. Okay, so one thing that I want to talk about is why you want to start listening to as much information as possible, because definitely information helps in anything, stock markets, real estate, any type of investment. it's going to help you. The more information you have from different sources, the better. You don't want to be stuck with an echo chamber, right? You don't want to just listen to a real estate agent who's only eye is trying to get his commissions talking about the market, because I don't think a real estate agent will tell you when a real estate market's bad, just like I don't think a stockbroker is going to tell you when not to invest. They're always going to tell you to invest in something. So when you look at, one thing that these TCGs have is information. So they have information on what stock's coming out, what stock's not being replenished, and they have information on what's selling, right? So it's a little bit different than what we have. When we want to get information regarding with what's selling, what do? We go to eBay and we go to TCG Player, just like I kind of did here. Hey, what was the last few boxes that were sold today for this price? So this is retail to retail, retail to consumer, so this is, stores to the end product, one of us, that hopefully one of us breaks it, opens it, and then, obviously some people invest it and hold it and sealed. But usually LGSs are not buying from TCG players. They're buying from other stores. They're buying from distributors more or less. And so they have a sense of when a product's going to go out before we do, right? They also have a sense of when a product's going to come back in stock. And, I mean, if you think about it from their perspective. So they got Romance Dawn coming in. Retails at 109. They have these boxes, a case, in my first example, right? It rose up to 400. Oh, shoot. They're going to do a restock. We see the distributor list. We could order one piece for 109. That means all the other stores could order this product for 109, right? Romance Dawn OPO1 for 109. So if I'm a local store, right, a card store, and I see that, what do you think you're going to do with those boxes? There's nothing wrong with dumping those boxes between now and when the other boxes arrive, right? When you order them and then the LGS gets them. So are they allowed to dump them per se? Yeah, for sure. They're dumping them as quick as possible. It's easy money for them in their eyes. It's free tendies, right? They get a box, 400, even if it goes down 300, even if it goes down at 260. They sell their entire stock at 260. They're picking up their replenishment at 109. Or a distributor's probably giving them to, probably not 80 or 90. Whatever it is, they're going to give it to them at a pretty cheaper price than 260. So it's free money. Okay? So the one thing that kind of in the stock market, I just kind of want to show you here, is that there's something called a level 2 quote. So for most of us, like I was mentioning, when you want to look up a stock, you just look at the price chart, the 1 month, 6 month, right, 12 month, 5 year max, and it's just like a chart that goes up and down. And then let's look at a stock chart. So Hasbro, I used Hasbro because Wizards of the Coast. So this is a price chart, 6 month, year. This is what people do, right? Hey, what was it yesterday? Oh, $15.19 it closed at, open at. So it sold somewhere in between there for this day. What did it do for this month? Okay, here, right? So that's how they do it. There's volume. You can see how much volume they have per day as well. But a lot of people don't pay attention to that, and some people do, right? Some more information is key. So what are level 2 quotes then? Is it different than that chart? It sure is. So level 2 quotes show what trades are coming, who's placing what orders in advance. So let's see if it shows. No, this one does not show what it looks like. Let me see if I can find something to show what it looks like. Okay. So let's take a look at what a level 2 quote looks like. Alright, so if you haven't seen a level 2 quote, it's going to look like this. So it's a little bit different than a stock chart. What it's showing is like all the trades that are coming. Who are placing the bets? Right? Who's asking for what and who's trying to sell for what. So these market makers know ahead of time what people are trying to sell for. And there's something called the axe. which is the market maker. So this is why I kind of equate them to the trading, the LGSs. Because with the market maker, they're the ones that set the market. Once people see that they're dumping stock, they're dumping their shares, they're going to start to follow suit. Because they're like, oh, you know, big company A, I don't want to use BlackRock or Vanguard, but those are the biggest ones. But BlackRock is dumping X amount of shares. So then people follow. So now BlackRock and the big stock traders, they kind of they want to hide their trades because they actually don't want to show that they're a market maker. So it's a little bit different in that industry. But I believe it's kind of the same with you know, LGSs, right? They don't want to dump it all at once. They kind of want to slowly put it out. Right? If you dump it all at once, it's going to scare the market. Not saying that's what Forge and Fire did back in February, back in, you know, last month or anything like that. But hey, I would slowly start getting stock out, especially if you know you could order it for cheaper right away. All right, so let's take a look. So remember, a couple of days ago, about 4 days ago, when I put this video up, One Piece was at $3.99 or $3.99. So today it's at $2.99. So, you know, I'll leave it up to you if you think One Piece is going to continue to go further down as well, because it sure might be, especially with these bunch of reprints. As I mentioned, these booster boxes, they're actually starting to appear at other online stores other than Forge and Fire. So let's take a look. So look at this, right? So TCG Player we already went over, but Skybox Collectibles, 300. Amazon is at $3.49. You can even go to StockX, $2.59. I think. Oh, look, this just dropped because I remember I was here. I think earlier today because I was not going to use them as an example. I wasn't, because their prices were like $500 still. But look, $399.95. So Dave and Adams, one of the biggest you know, card trader online stores out there, dropped their price to $399. I already went over Forge and Fired at $2.99. We're under $300. So you could see that more stores, they're following suit. They're like, oh, okay, well, I'm not going to keep my stock anymore. Let's start selling them. Because I don't think Skybox, maybe they did, because I know that last week they did get a restock. Local game stores did get a restock, maybe 1 or 2 cases per store if you had them ordered. So it could be that they did get a restock for sure. Alright, so what I want to show you, this other picture here. This at Target the other day. I think it's from 6/10. So what are we, 3 days ago. They're showing the restocks. And you can see clearly there's One Piece, Romance Dawn sleeve boosters at this place. In addition to OPO3, OPO5, OPO4, and OPO6. A bunch of OPO5 actually. And I'm going to talk about OPO5 in my in-depth market watch for the first quarter of Awakening New Era. This was the one that caused the whole mania, in my opinion, because prior to Awakening New Era, Pillars of Strength and Kingdoms Intrigue, you know, they were moving slowly. Nobody wanted them. I'm going to be honest. I picked up my boxes, as I told you a few times, for $80. But look, now they have the double packs. I thought these were no more in existence. I thought once they were gone, they were gone. But no, they reprinted them. They're back. Or they restocked them. Target did. So they are back. Which is stocked by MJ Holdings, by the way. So check out your local Targets. I think Bandai's doing a good job. They're flooding the market of getting the stock in there. Now, do you think that that's this price jump is abnormal? No, obviously not. Let's take a look at a few of the most recent ones that had reprints and people talking about pump and dumps and stuff like that. So the very first one, I'm sure everyone has heard the news about, is the Pokemon 151 Japanese edition. I even got into the hype a little bit, and I actually have no regrets. But So a couple months ago, this was at $200, and then everyone heard about these reprints, right? So if you watch those videos, all the stores dumped all their product when they heard about this reprint, because number one, they heard it was going to be huge, so they dumped all their product, right? Then the second thing, so a couple of things happened with this one that was interesting. Then the second thing that happened was all the stores then were promised by Japanese distributors that they had stock, so they pre-ordered it. Same system that we have in America, right? So they pre-ordered these boxes, and then then all of a sudden, close to ship date, they started canceling. So the American stores took all the pre-order money, but there's no product because Japan either did one of two things. They either canceled the product, or they said, hey, we can't charge that price. We're going to have to raise the price. So that happened, right? And then the third thing that happened, so a bunch of stores actually lost money on that because they wanted to be a good shop, and they still bought the product at the higher price and still gave it to the customers at the higher price, even though they sold it at a lower price. They did take a loss, so give kudos to those shops. But the next thing that happened, which is just recently, okay, so I bought this box. Here, let me tell you a story about this box. I bought this box during that reprint craze. I saw Poke-Ne and I saw Sakura Card Shop. Both have this box on their website for sale. The Sakura Card Shop actually had the quantity, and I think it was like 99, I believe. So I literally sat there and watched it go from 99 to 97, or excuse me, 99 to 2 in about 2 hours, 3 hours maybe. So I got FOMO'd and I bought it at 115. So now you look at it today. Where's my eBay? You could get it for 77 bucks. I was showing this one. I got an offer for 69. So you could actually get this for 69 shipped plus tax, right? So 69 plus tax shipped. All right. So you can see the price drop here. So, was this a pump and dump? For sure. Definitely was a pump and dump. But it's not, like I said, it's a TCG pump and dump, not a pump and dump where this, the TCG is not going to go anywhere. It's just that the price was a pump and dump. So this one was a big one because I remember this about a year ago, right? Or 2 years ago, I guess. The Lost Origin, the pump and dump. Look at this, right? So it went up, it skyrocketed. And I remember LGS has got this rumor of a reprint, and they dumped it right after that. So, Lost Origin card prices are crashing already. Lost Origin's getting reprint, but reprint happens now. What? So like I said, there's these reprints and price going up and down. That's going to happen in this industry, in this market, in this hobby, and that's kind of, I think, why we're in it, right? We're not collecting stuff that holds no value. We like stuff that does hopefully go up, but this is why we do it as well. But I do understand as well that there are a lot of people out there that are just buying products and not liking the products at all. They're just investing. So I could understand that. However, with all these reprints happening, it's actually going to be good for the market. And here's the reason why. And here's why I think, even though it's technically a pump and dump, it's going to be like most other products where, if you bought at a fair price, I think this is going to be a good one to hold. And you could see since yesterday, June 12th, 2024, we got a whole page. I think the page is 15? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 25. It's about 25 boxes per page. So that's just one page. So 25. So about 30 boxes went at 300 for Romance Dawn. and this is just TCG players, so this is not going to a local shop. This is not buying from Forge and Fire at 300. This isn't buying from all these other LGSs as well. So, you know, I think like I stated before, all these card shops are dumping their product for a reason. There's going to be a big reprint, most likely, in my opinion, sometime down the road. And that's a good thing because it's getting absorbed, meaning there's the player count and the player base and the collector base is absorbing the product. Everyone's buying the product still at the prices. Like I was mentioning, it's not dropping like a knife and nobody's buying them. At every price point, they're buying them. So it looks like it's just a race to the bottom to get rid of stock. Which is a little different. Whereas nobody wants to buy them, and you got to find the right price to set it at so that people do buy. Anyways, I hope you like this video, and hope you, like I said, check out different perspectives. I'm going to try to do other videos with different perspectives as well. I like highlighting YouTubers. I think they're great for the community. Even if they give you different of opinion, you shouldn't always get perspective. These two individuals that I highlighted, they've been in the industry for a lot longer than I have, and they gave me valuable information every time. And sometimes I that doesn't make sense, and then it starts to make sense. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Hope you got some good information, and have a great day. Bye.